Easy bike to ride. That's kind of my takeaway so far on today's first little ride. Yeah, I haven't ridden a bike in over 2 months, and I feel super comfortable and like willing to kind of push it a little bit given the kind of wet conditions. Hey guys, I just got back from my ride and it's on the all-new Pivot Switchblade. It's January of 2024 and Pivot's been kind of teasing us about having a new Switchblade come out for a while, and I wouldn't say it's like a completely new different bike. I would say it's just like a refresh of the current Switchblade. They did change some things that are definitely worth talking about. I guess number one is seat tube angle got a little steeper at 76 degrees in the low setting. Head tube angle is 65.2 degree head tube angle. And on a size medium, has a reach of 465 millimeters, which is kind of big. You know, I'm 5'8", and I always ride mediums, and it does feel a little longer, but that's the way all bikes have been going the last couple of years. And truthfully, Pivot's kind of a slow adopter of these new lower, longer, slacker trends, which for me, I like that. I like that they move a little slower than some of these other brands that just like, bam, make every bike an enduro bike. So 76 degrees, I love it. A lot of other bikes in this category are a little steeper than that, 77, 7.5 degrees. I like that. It feels a little bit more comfortable when you're pedaling along. 65.2 degrees in the head tube angle is super rad. There's a flip chip. There was a flip chip on the previous Switchblade also, but flip chip, my bike came to me in a low setting. So in the low setting, those are the numbers. Then if you put it in the high setting, it just moves everything forward a half of a degree. From what I read in the marketing material that I got, the biggest change was this lower link here that connects the rear triangle to the front triangle. And it got a little longer, more like the Pivot Firebird and less like the Trail 429, which is the shorter travel trail bike that Pivot offers. So those are probably the biggest changes. They also have size-specific chainstay lengths. So the large and extra large have longer chainstays than the extra small, small, and medium. And I'm on a medium today, and I'm 5'8". If you haven't been to my channel, my name's Jason. This is MTB Yum Yum. I try to ride as many bikes as I can get my hands on. I picked this one up from Salt Cycles here in Sandy, Utah. They are a Pivot dealer. They're also a Yeti and an Ibis and a Cannondale and a Transition dealer. They've got a bunch of other brands, but they're one of Pivot's largest and best bike shops. And so they have 24 of these at their shop right now that they can sell you if you call. Sometimes when a bike brand like Pivot releases a new bike, the dealers don't have them right away, but I assure you, I've seen them. They're in the boxes, they've got them. So if you're looking for a new Pivot Switchblade, give the guys up there, give Chris a call, and they can also custom build it. One of the nice things about Pivot, and they've always been this way, is they offer their bikes in both full Shimano group sets and SRAM group sets. There's other brands where like the certain model you want only comes in like a SRAM build, and maybe you wanted the XT or the Shimano build. And so in any case, I'm on a SRAM build with transmission drivetrain, factory suspension, but you can kind of get all the different group sets and click the link down below to go over and see which one might interest you the most. I want to talk to you today and kind of bring you on a first look test drive. So why don't we go do that now? All right, so it's been a minute since I've ridden a Pivot bike, and man, every time I ride them, you can't believe how like quiet, damp, they feel more refined than like so many of the other bikes that I ride. And for those of you who have forgotten, like my current like trail to longer travel bike that I own right now is a Yeti SB140 Lunch Ride. And that's a really nice bike too, but I just think these Pivots, they just feel a little bit more solid, a little more damp, a little more refined.
which is crazy because Yeti has kind of been at the top, you know, in my mind for so long, but these pivot bikes are just so good, so quiet too. Climbing, you know, it's been since probably, I don't know, it's probably been 7 or 8 months since I last rode the previous Switchblade back in the summer of 2023. And here it is, the end of January of 24. So it's been a while since I've ridden it, but man, the thing feels efficient. It doesn't feel, you know, like the front wheel doesn't wander around. I mean, I'm not on a steep section right now, but I've climbed a few steep sections and it just feels like it wants to motor up the trail. I'd say it's real similar to the previous Switchblade. I don't know if it's any better, but the Switchblade was already, in my experience, the best climbing, most efficient, kind of mid to longer travel 29er out there. So the bike on paper is a little longer, so I'm pretty interested to see what it actually feels like on the downhill. If it feels too demanding or kind of unwieldy. These are tight trails, and it's kind of nice to have a bike that can get through this stuff pretty easily. Oh, that's fun. Oh, dude, what's better than mountain biking? It's so freaking fun.
Today's video is sponsored by Lab Austere hip packs, and if you see my channel before, you have seen this hip pack. I've been partnered with them for a couple years now because they make the best hip pack in the business. It hangs low off of your back like a construction worker's tool belt, so your back doesn't get all sweaty and gross, and it doesn't move around on you. In fact, it kind of just hangs off of you. You almost don't even know it's on there. And it's super easy to grab your water bottle, pull it out, take a drink, and then reholstering your water bottle while you're riding your bike is possible. You don't have to loop any weird elastic thing over the top of the bottle to keep it from flying out. It just doesn't fall out. I've been using this hip pack for over 5 years now. I've never lost the bottle, and I can always grab a drink whenever I want in the middle of pedaling up a climb. It just makes a ton of sense. It's lightweight, it's minimalist, has a pocket in the middle here to just bring along the essentials like a tool, a little air chuck, a CO2, a tube, and a little place for some snacks as well. Right now, Lab Austere has these on sale for 25% off using promotional code YUMYUM at checkout. Click the link down below.
I was worried it was going to feel really long, but it really hasn't felt too bad. The previous Switchblade was just such a good trail bike, and so those are the things on my mind today on this test drive. Is does it still feel like a quick and good trail bike for like blue trails, or is it going to feel too long and too much Firebird in its DNA? Kid in front of me is on a cross-country bike, and you can kind of see him pull away from me in those little it was slightly uphill out of a corner. His speed kind of got up a little quicker, but he's got quicker tires on too. He's got cross-country tires. But yeah, right here the bike feels so rad. Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's still good on these blue trails. The other thing is through these chundry kind of rocky sections through here, you can get kind of chattery. It doesn't feel like it's getting bucked around at all, like right there, yeah. It feels like it just sinks down into the travel and stays put, stays planted. Oh, just about blew that corner though. Yeah, you want your bigger travel bike, your bike like this that can go and do bike park laps. You want it to still be fun on a blue trail. And so that's really what we're finding out today. And so far, I think, yeah, all systems go. Here's a little punchy uphill section. The bike stays high in its travel the whole time. I don't feel myself bogging too much. I'll tell you, I'm excited to ride this back to back with my Yeti SB140 lunch ride. Oh, that was fun. I have not kept myself in good enough shape through the winter. Just been skiing with the family and not riding the trainer. It'll come back in a couple months. Although I'm getting knee surgery on April 11th. So be down and out for that for a little bit. Let's go get some more chunkier trails. Yeah, tight little switchback there, no problem.
When the Switchblade first got changed, like, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago, the shock used to be up here. And Pivot moved on all their bikes, including the Switchblade about 4 years ago, the shock down to this lower shock mount place. It completely changed the way the bike rode for the better. Well, then they did it to the Firebird and to the Trail 429. And what happened is when the Trail 429 came out a couple years ago, in my mind, I thought, the Firebird climbs so well and is just a beast descending. I mean, going to the bike parks and riding lift service and just any chunky trails, the Firebird's your bike. And then the Trail 429 is such a competent and efficient trail bike. I felt like the space between the Firebird and the Trail 429 was getting this big, and there's only this much room for the Switchblade. That's why they put this longer link on here, made the bike probably a little longer. I think the bike grew in a size medium from a wheelbase of like 1190 up to like 1223. The bike did get longer. I felt that on my test ride today. And this isn't a huge long review. You know, it's winter here in Utah, so I don't have a ton of time on the bike. Stick around till May or June. I'm gonna have this bike for a while to give you like a more long-term, like 500-mile review, right? So that will come, but I can just tell you right away, the bike feels a little longer, a little more competent. I really like that slacker head tube angle. You'll notice it, I promise you, right away. So if you're on a current Switchblade and you feel like you need just a little bit more high speed, just a little bit more, take it to the bike park, I think you're gonna be really impressed. I would say this definitely separates it more now away from the Trail 429 and closer to the Firebird. 465 millimeter reach feels like a lot to me. I think I got about probably a 40 millimeter stem is what I'm guessing is on here. I used to own the Pivot Firebird, and I actually bought a size small because that bike got really big too. So if I were to buy this bike, I would definitely want to demo the size small before I pulled the trigger on a medium. Not great for me. I like it when the bike just fits me right away, but it's probably good for you because most men I see are kind of in that 5'10", 5'11". A lot of people are that size. So if you're that size and you used to be in between a large and a medium, I think you'll hop on this and be like, dang, that feels good. It feels manageable, you know? I think you'll be really impressed with it. So I think the sizing got a little better for more people, you know, probably. Other things that happened is the frame now has different, and I think they did this on the previous one, I just maybe didn't notice it as much as I did today, but the bike didn't feel as pingy as the previous Switchblade. Sometimes at higher speeds through a little bit, I didn't ride any like super chundery sections of trail today, but there was some rocky spots that I came in kind of high speed. The previous Switchblade, I'd feel the back end kind of skip around a little bit, and trust me, I spent a lot of time getting that rear shock dialed in. I think I was just maybe too lightweight for it for some reason. This feels less that way. This felt more planted, more stuck to the ground, and I liked it. It felt really awesome. It still felt pretty quick on the blue trails, on the slower speed trails. I need to ride it back to back with the old Switchblade to see if it's as quick and agile as the previous one. But look, I rode a lot of blue trails today. I had a good time. So I think it's still a very trail-worthy bike. It has good trail manners, right? The two takeaways I have from today's ride are probably, number one, that I think Pivot is the top brand of mountain bikes right now. They're so quiet, they're so nice, the paint job is beautiful. It's kind of, this is the black Mojave or the stealth Mojave or whatever they're calling it. And it's a matte finish bike, but it's not like this dingy looking matte. It's like still kind of glossy. You'll have to see it in person. I'm not doing a good job describing it, but it looks very, very nice. The bike was dead quiet when I was riding it, and it just felt like luxury. It felt so good. And my current bike is a Yeti, which is supposed to be like one of the top brands, right? And I just thought, this feels nicer than my Yeti. It's impressive, okay? And then number two, this bike, the Switchblade in particular, all pivots kind of feel this way, but the Switchblade in particular, it feels so easy to ride. Someone who's a newer rider who wants to get a nicer bike, this is not going to feel overwhelming to you or demanding. It's very balanced. You don't feel like you're in a weird position on it. You feel like you're in the middle of the bike, that you're sitting in the bike. Not this weird, like, too far back, too far forward. I don't know. Some bikes, I ride a lot of different bikes, so I do feel that a lot of the time. This bike just feels like coming home, you know, just so neutral, so easy to ride. I felt like and I haven't ridden a bike. It's winter. I haven't ridden a bike in like 2.5 or 3 months, and I felt great today. I thought things were going to feel a little off balance, and I just felt great the whole time. So those are the two takeaways. What a nice bike. I'll have more content coming out on this soon. Reach out to Chris or the guys at Salt Cycles and talk to them about getting a custom build. I mean, this is just a really cool bike. It comes in two paint jobs. It comes in this black stealth Mojave, which also has the small green accents on here, which my 11-year-old saw and said, dude, that is so sick. And I was like, why did they put green on this black bike? So I prefer it without the green highlights, but whatever. My 11-year-old liked it. And then it comes in a blue, which I think the Switchblade's always been offered in some sort of blue. So the blue looks really bright and flashy. And then they have a special, like, limited edition, I think they call it the Talon bike. It's pink. It's got some yellow accents on it, but they're only making like 300 of those. So I don't know where you're gonna find it. It sounds like it's gonna be tough to get, but this is a workhorse. This is a tried and true bike. They're not too aggressive on their geometry. It's just an easy bike to recommend to someone, really. Especially if you think you might go spend a day or two at the bike park. This is a trail bike that can go do that type of riding. I'm excited to ride this back-to-back once spring finally gets here and my trails dry out, against the Ritmo and against the Stump Jumper Evo, and review it against my personal bike, my Yeti SB140 Lunch Ride, and see how it stacks up. Climbing was so good on it. I mean, I just think it's probably the best climbing bike in the category. Every time I get on and start climbing, I think, man, maybe I should buy one. It feels a little long for me, though. I need to test out a small. So thanks for watching today. Any questions about build kits or what Pivot offers on the Switchblade or pricing, click the link down below. 74% of the people who watch my videos are unsubscribed. So I have not posted a video in like 3 months. I will not overwhelm or bombard your inbox with videos. So subscribe. It's not like I'm gonna overwhelm you anyway. And it helped me out a ton. So hit the like button, subscribe, stick around. I think I posted 24 or 25 videos all year last year, which is hardly anything for a YouTuber. The bike was rad. I would say, in a nutshell, it feels more high-speed worthy than the previous one, but time will tell. Thanks for watching this first look. Thanks to Salt Cycles for getting me this bike. Give them a call, support them. They support me. It's a great way to support the channel. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.